It's a Monday night. There isn't a lot of traffic out there, but you know this area, Gene Autry Way, in the heart of Anaheim, the heart of Orange County here, near Disneyland, and of course the Anaheim Stadium there. And that's where this pursuit made its way. And he was having to turn around because there wasn't anywhere to go. Those barricades, and he busted through one. Again, this started as a stolen vehicle, but first perhaps as a hit and run. There was some sort of hit and run. The officers were on this vehicle. They ran the plates, and then they saw that the plates came back as a stolen vehicle.
So this is one of the busiest tourist areas in the country right here. We're not far from Disneyland. We know this is where there are a lot of hotels, and people are in for the night, probably after taking their kids to Disneyland. And now we go to a U-turn. Are they going to be able to box them in? No. Now turning back the other way.
And they can pit this. They can pit this vehicle, even though it's a
conditions for it, right?
Slightly larger, heavier vehicle. They don't want to do it at speeds much above 35 or 40 miles an hour. That's the threshold for the pit maneuver, the pursuit intervention technique that was designed to try to spin that vehicle out and bring this to an end so nobody gets injured. And that's what they're trying to do. And these officers, CHP, Orange County's on this, Anaheim as well, trying to disable this vehicle with the spike strips, perhaps, with that pit maneuver to bring this to a safe conclusion.
Well, we're watching this driver blow through red lights there, drive in really bizarre ways here, making this U-turn on these surface streets. Why this person got off the freeway after going from Oxnard all the way down to Orange County. The thought was you might even try to go to the border of Mexico, but no, gets off here in Orange County and now on these really wide open surface streets, as you guys were talking about, Rick Dickert. No traffic, really.
And doing another 180 here, and we always ask why, how, what's in their mindset? Well, they're trying to get away, and whatever way that they feel that they're going to be able to evade the police, the officers, the CHP, they're going to try for it. And why they decided this individual, we believe it's only one suspect inside that truck there, decided to exit the 5 freeway after traveling south from the San Fernando Valley through the East LA interchange into Orange County. We don't know. But now back onto the 5 freeway, the Santa Ana portion of the 5 freeway here.
So our photographer, Sam Dubin, tells us that that white CHP vehicle is called a Polar Bear. It's used for commercial enforcement of big trucks. And that's what you see behind as well as we now head back onto the freeway. And Rick, if we get too close to Disneyland, we may have some challenges in terms of shooting this. As somebody who's been in SkyFOX for so many years, can you talk about that?
And we already do. It's called a TFR, or a temporary flight restriction, although it's been in play since 9/11. They put that bubble around Disneyland, a 3-mile radius, 3,000 feet. So whenever we traveled in that general area up in SkyFOX, we would have to travel, gain altitude, I should say, up to about 3,500 feet to get above that. But still, our equipment on SkyFOX, state-of-the-art, you can see we're still providing these pictures. And it looks like, look at the front left side there, it looks like there's some sort of damage perhaps to the vehicle, or a tire that's out of play there. But bottom line, on the 5 freeway, back northbound now through Anaheim, on the 5 freeway again.
You mentioned possible damage there, but look at the speeds that this driver's still able to go at.
Lights off.
Yep, lights off, still at 85.
They've been taking lights on and off, and after 22 years, maybe that's no longer temporary flight restriction.
No, exactly. That's what we were just talking about prior to our live coverage.
On the freeway, though, Rick, or would that be more on surface streets?
The TFR is all for aerial aviation.
3 miles
we have to stay away from that area, 3 miles around, 3,000 feet up, so that if any aircraft were to get close to Disneyland, we have to abide by that circle, that bubble, climb up above the 3,000-foot level for safety of all those that are at Disneyland. But now we're traveling northbound, and we're going to be out of that TFR area, but it doesn't impact. Again, all we have to do is climb up to 3,500 feet, still provide these shops, dip back down to maybe 1,500 feet, give plenty of space to the law enforcement airships that are up there. Bottom line, though, there's something damaged with that vehicle, with that truck.
Yep, something's not right on the front of that vehicle.
But the speeds, though.
He's still jamming. Look at 90 miles an hour there, and it appears possibly that front left tire could be disabled in some way at this time. There's something flapping there. You see that, right?
Imagine what that must sound like at that speed, too.
Exactly.
In that car. Wow.
But he's maintaining control. Again, if you're just tuning in, this pursuit started in Ventura County. It started with law enforcement, at least, as a hit and run. Law enforcement lit this vehicle up. They ran the plates, and those plates came back stolen. So we have 2 counts here for this vehicle. How it all started, how this car was taken over by that individual, we don't know at this time. But bottom line, it's a stolen vehicle suspect and a hit-and-run suspect traveling at a very high rate of speed back northbound, covering the same real estate that he just did, coming southbound out of LA County, out of the San Fernando Valley, now back out of Orange County, Anaheim, towards the north.
Yeah, again, going back towards the direction where this vehicle came from. The thought was that perhaps as far as this driver was going to the south on that 5 freeway, they might keep going towards San Diego and beyond, which we know is the Mexico border there. But here you have that driver turned around, heading now back northbound. And Alex, how far will this driver go? Back to Oxnard? Back to Ventura County?
Well, I mean, the big question is how damaged is this vehicle? How much can it take? Is that tire really damaged, and is it going to start to wear out? I mean, we have seen, though, Rick, certainly recently, a lot of instances of drivers who are desperate driving on rims.
No question. We've seen it all. And we've seen a lot of that just in the last year or so, especially since the pandemic, the last couple of years, where we've seen some crazy pursuits and drivers who are able to manipulate these vehicles that are damaged. And you can see there this high rate of speed, our extreme nav system on its speeds close to 90 miles an hour, and you can see the CHPs right on his tail there and continuing to track them, tracking from the air and on the ground here.
And so, you know, it looked like maybe it's the tire, maybe it's the bumper that was damaged as well. And possibly we could get some of the video recued from a little bit earlier when it went over and we saw sparks flying.
And Mark Rogandito, our sports guy, just gave me a little note here because he knows Anaheim Stadium very well, and it's possible there's these speed humps in that parking lot, and he may have damaged his vehicle going over those speed bumps.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, look at the speeds, though. Apparently, whatever's going on there with that vehicle, not slowing this driver down one bit. That is really dangerous, though, because what if that bumper comes off?
You're
right.
right.
The guy's driving, there's other motorists
it's a
there.
Projectile that's flying at 90 miles an hour. That could kill somebody.
And they know that, and they're trying to do whatever they can to bring this to an end. Now LA County is going to be involved again. The Sheriff's Department. Obviously, the California Highway Patrol is all of California. There's different units of the CHP based in LA County, based in Orange County, but that is one entity that has been on this. But now heading northbound on the 5 freeway, back towards where this pursuit first began. But again, it started in Ventura County, made its way into the San Fernando Valley, picked up the South 5 out of the valley, all the way through the East LA interchange, East Los Angeles. You can see the damage there, the front left side there. But it looks like those wheels, those tires, Alex and Christine, may still be in pretty good shape. Otherwise, I don't think that he would be able to be moving at this speed at 90 miles an hour and maintaining control.
And that, I mean, think about how far this guy's driven so far. I mean, going from Oxnard to Anaheim takes a long time, even if even if you are going at 90 miles an hour. That's a journey as well.
And that begs the question, how much gas was in this vehicle? If he did steal it, was it half a tank, a quarter of a tank? Did he have time to fill up before they hit and run, before they lit him up and the pursuit was on? We don't know that. And obviously we know that the mindset of this individual is he will do whatever he can to get away from officers. And we do believe it's just one individual in that vehicle at this time, according to the chatter, as we say up in SkyFOX, that we've heard so far. Northbound side of the 5 freeway here, and now we're up to La Mirada, so almost right on the county line, Orange County, LA County.
You know, I feel for these motorists there on the road. We just saw a motorcyclist there on the far right. To see a car coming at you at these kinds of speeds or whizzing past you at these kinds of speeds, it's jarring, it's alarming.
And not knowing necessarily what's happening. I mean, they do have the lights and sirens behind them, and they will probably potentially be hearing the helicopters up above. I mean, most of us probably have had this experience of driving when a pursuit comes. It is amazing when you're in that experience how fast it comes and goes.
And it's fast.
They're really flying.
And it's fast right now because of the time. It's Monday night. It's after 10 o'clock. The volume is light here. I'm not seeing any major hang-ups on our real-time traffic system up ahead. No SIG alerts in effect with lanes blocked, at least at this moment. So this driver commandeering this vehicle somehow, some way, traveling northbound on the 5, has a wide-open freeway. And that's what we're seeing here. CHP knows that.
Look at the officer there, not following directly behind the vehicle. vehicle
Yeah,
following there in that lane to the left.
They have to give somewhat, a distance, a space, that space cushion so that they can get a sense for what's happening. Obviously, they don't want to be, it's not going to do them any good if they're right up against their tail, obviously. But just a good distance here. You could see the light, the strobe light from the CHP unit is illuminating. That's not the night center from the helicopter. They have a bright light. When you get pulled over, if you've ever been pulled over at night, that light comes on. That's the light that they're shining on that vehicle as we tighten up with our SkyFOX, our extreme nav system, trying to get a sense of what's going on with this vehicle. Again, a high-speed pursuit. You're watching it here live on Fox 11, having started up in Ventura County. First came down as a hit and run. They ran the plates, found out that this vehicle was stolen as well. So multiple counts on this driver, in addition to, of course, reckless driving.
So we continue to move now as we head back towards LA County. So this pursuit has been in Ventura County, LA County, Orange County. Now heading back towards LA County on the I-5. We have seen pursuits, Christine, in the past where CHP or other law enforcement is what's called so-called tracking mode, where they get far behind and give the driver distance. That is not what we are seeing here. The sort of the opposite of that. CHP right on the tail.
There hasn't been immediate danger to other motorists. We haven't seen pedestrians on surface streets as well. Noting that this driver is coming up on a freeway here, the 605 freeway. But again, this car came from the 5 up in Ventura County. I'm going to guess that driver stays on the 5 freeway and continues, perhaps, as we talked about, to areas that they know. Will this driver try to make his way? I say he because we don't know it's a male or female. Yeah. Will this driver try to make his way back to Ventura County?
Yeah, you never know. I mean, in a situation like this, and yes, that's something that we've seen a lot of, these people being pursued, these individuals being pursued like their comfort zone. We know our comfort zones, where we live, the neighborhoods that we are in. We know those back alleys and those areas perhaps that we could duck under. Not that we're going to be pursued, but if somebody is, then they know that and they will go to that comfortable area. So we have seen that. But in a situation like this, where this guy was racing south, well into Orange County, who knows what his mindset is at this time. All we know is he is just really ripping up the 5 freeway over 100 miles an hour with our extreme nav system. You can see the location. Track it with us. 5 freeway northbound at Lakewood Boulevard. South LA County heading now up to East LA. And that CHP unit is on its tail there. You can see. But there's no way that they can do a pit maneuver right now with this other traffic out there. Perhaps they can throw out a spike strip, but what they would have to do, Alex and Christine, is hold all the other traffic back. They can't throw a spike strip down and let just the common folks who are driving up the 5 freeway run into that, cause their cars to be disabled, an accident perhaps. So there has to be a lot of planning ahead to make that happen.
And one wonders why this driver got off the freeway in Anaheim. And nowhere else.
Exactly.
Like what led to that particular? Why would they drive towards Angel Stadium? And they go into the parking lot there?
Coincidentally, just so you guys know at home, just before we went on, Alex said, "Hey, has there ever been a pursuit on Disneyland, in the grounds of Disneyland?" I said, "I don't think I ever remember." And then it was almost there. It was at Anaheim Stadium.
Yeah, I mean, so sort of. Whoa,
okay,
whoa!
A little traffic.
Did we clip?
Yeah, there may have been a clip there. He hit the brakes. This is that stretch of the 5 where it narrows a bit. Definitely heavier volume, but it looks like
CHP right there.
Yeah, CHP there too. Probably trying to holding back that traffic a bit. As I said, maybe trying to look ahead and think ahead, being that this guy likes the 5 freeway. He traveled the 5 southbound from the San Fernando Valley all the way to Orange County. Now back northbound. Now you're not seeing any traffic there up ahead. So maybe they were trying to hold that traffic back, as I just said, and throw that spike strip out so that only that vehicle would be impacted. But now there's some other traffic here. So he's flying. This is dangerous. They got to bring it to an end. They're doing the best they can. Look at the speed, not only in the upper right corner with our extreme nav system, but watch this vehicle and the trailing officers, the CHP units, in relation to the other vehicles there.
Rick, do they have to bring it to an end, or can they let it run itself out? You got to keep in mind here, it's largely wide open. The driver's largely been on the freeway, not overly endangering the motorists alongside there, except for the high speeds, obviously. Do they let this car just run itself out, run out of gas? It comes to a close.
You know, it depends on a lot of things, and they may know more about this than we do, first of all, and about this suspect. Yes, we've seen situations where we go into what we call tracking mode, where they just follow the vehicle from the air. The high speed becomes a very serious danger issue with other motorists there. So to pull back those ground units, to hopefully ease the mind of the person being pursued, to slow them down, but still track them from the air into any neighborhood that they end up in, because it will have to eventually end. You're absolutely right. So the bottom line is what they're going to do here is they're going to bring this person into custody.
Yeah.
They want to do it safely. And there's a lot of things going on right now that will come into the decision-making of the commanding officer of the lead agency. And being that this started in Ventura County, they still have some sort of connection to this.
Although we have seen instances where they do get away, so we know that's what they want to do, but they don't always accomplish that goal. We want to show you some video from a little bit earlier. If you're just joining us, the live picture on the left.
Right there.
Boom. That was right
Speed
by where the Angels play in Anaheim, driving over a speed bump. And then look at this, in the parking lot where you would go, sort of having all those barriers that would set you up in terms of where to go.
He did a 180.
Yeah, driving literally in circles, and then it's like, where do you go from here?
and then he had to bust through at least partially one of them, which is coming up here, because he found that he was pretty much in a dead end there. And you're going to see this in just a moment here. He's like, all right, I'm out of options. There's another barricade. There's more there on my right. What am I going to do? All right, I got to do something. Yeah. There's a street. There's a getaway street here. Boom, right there.
Boom. Yep.
But that goes to the mindset of the driver as to how badly they are wanting to get away. And it makes you wonder what they're willing to do to get away. And Alex, I'm reminded of the pursuit we did recently where the person got out of their vehicle, went onto somebody's property, carjacked their vehicle.
There it is again. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, this person could be more dangerous than we are seeing right here.
And just the other night, we saw another one where the man exited the freeway, the 60 freeway, got out of his vehicle. His vehicle still looked okay, but then tried to carjack a number of other vehicles before police took him down. So we've seen all kinds of situations like this, dangerous situations, and you don't know what is going on with that guy. All we know is that he is running and trying to get away from law enforcement, and he could be armed.
And we saw another one recently where, there were multiple people in the car. Some ran off on the freeway, and then the driver got out near apartments, and everybody got away.
Yes,
So,
yeah, they all got. And
so,
again,
sometimes that happens. I mean, it is a higher chance of that happening when law enforcement is in that so-called tracking mode and they're not right on top of the person. I mean, if this driver right now were to stop anywhere close, there are multiple vehicles right behind that person that would likely take
East LA interchange.
he or she into custody.
So this is the 5 freeway northbound heading up towards the east side of Los Angeles in Boyle Heights. And we call it the East LA interchange because that's where the 5, the 60, the 10, the 101 freeways all merge. You can see the intertwining freeways there. And we'll see, because he has options here, but it looks like perhaps, okay, let's see if he's going to get on the 60 freeway here, but that's the interchange here, so our Extreme Nav is trying to keep up with him at this time. It still looks like 5 northbound here. It narrows there. You can see the roads narrowing, but again, this is the 5, the 60, the 101, and the 10 freeways where they all merge there on the east side of LA. You see the sign there, 5 northbound Sacramento, but he's veering off to the left, getting on the 101 portion of that East LA interchange. So that would take him up more towards the Hollywood area, but getting off, there's more sparks there.
Whoa!
Took that off ramp too tight at a high speed, and there was some more friction there, at least we can say, with that vehicle, and some sort of left shoulder railing of some sort. And you could see all the units there still back on that off ramp there. So 7th Street. This is 7th Street heading towards downtown LA off of the East LA interchange from the 101 north portion of the East Los Angeles interchange. And now it gets more dangerous because now we have street lights. Now we have bicyclists. Now we could even still have some pedestrians, even though it's at a late hour here.
Could you take the 6th Street Bridge? We're not far from there,
right? You're going to cross over the, let's see, stopping. Is he just going to say, forget it, I'm done?
Look at the tire in the front.
Oh, there's a passenger?
Okay, well,
Passenger door
there
open?
is a passenger door open now. And we were told that only the driver was in there, so it's unclear. I'm still seeing movement there. Yeah, there's 2 people in there.
Yeah.
There definitely are.
Drivers showing their arms out of the window there,
Look at the
signaling
front-
they
look
are
at the
perhaps
front.
planning to surrender.
Yeah, look at the
That
front
tire's
wheel.
flat, right?
Yeah, the flat tire's
It looks
flat.
flat. It looks flat.
And you wonder if that's a combination from earlier, if that would have just happened on that turn.
Yeah.
But yeah,
They're just saying we're done. All right.
Okay, well he's
Thankfully.
going out, but will the other
But look at the driver.
person?
Looks like the driver's showing their arm. Is there another person on the passenger side, or is that the door?
Not sure,
swinging?
but this individual is definitely doing what he's been told here, showing his waistband to make
Yeah.
sure he's not carrying a weapon of any sort. He's completely listening and abiding by what the police are telling him to do here. They'll tell him to lay flat, and there he goes, knees down, and here comes an officer gonna cuff. We believe that this was this is a passenger inside the vehicle. Gun still drawn. This is far from code 4, far
Yeah.
from the 4 fingers. This is still an active situation.
And you wonder if anybody else is in that vehicle too.
It looked like there was still some shuffling around, correct? And
Yeah,
again, we heard that it was
why
just.
hasn't the driver gotten out?
Yeah, perhaps what they'll do is they will say, stay put, we're going to get your buddy out of there first and get him cuffed, and then here we go. And then they're now telling this individual what to do. And yeah, there was two people in that vehicle. I don't know what he's trying to make sure the vehicle's turned off. Definitely a
that could
flat
be.
tire. There goes the keys on the asphalt. Another male doing what he's told. Again, starting in Ventura County.
Is there
Mainly
another person in the vehicle that those keys came flying out like that?
I thought it was him who dropped them. I may be wrong, but it looked like he threw those keys down on the ground. He's in a hoodie here. He's being told what to do. It looks like he's trying to pull up his hoodie to show that he doesn't have anything in his waistband. Officers, guns drawn. They got this guy for sure. There he goes. He's got the low waistband just like his partner there did. And showing these officers that he does not have any weapons, at least concealed in his waistband, and he's doing exactly what he's been told as well.
It looks like young guys there.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
you can see that suspect really trying to keep his hands visible there.
Yeah,
to law
he's doing what he's
enforcement,
told,
stepping far away from that vehicle.
That doesn't make him doing right with what he did for maybe 2 hours.
No, thank goodness
perhaps.
nobody got hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's backing up and doing exactly what he's told, hands drawn. They'll probably tell him to kneel down as well. And he goes down, and he will be cuffed. And then they are going to
I don't
clear
know. It
that.
looks like there's somebody else in there.
Yep, there is. I think
Yeah.
there's a third person.
Well, those keys came flying out, and that suspect there had their hands up. So I was like, how did that happen?
Okay, here comes the other door.
It's a female. There's a gal there. And maybe she's the one who pulled the keys out and had them and said, stop this madness.
Wow.
So
And
here's a
we also
third
don't
person.
know the story behind the stolen vehicle, how it got stolen.
Who it
was it
belongs to?
carjacked?
Was it? We have no idea. If any of these people were in that vehicle against their will, you never know. I mean, we find out stories on these after the fact, but this female now is doing what she's told. She's going to be cuffed. And then they're going to make sure there's no one in the back area.
Want to come out?
They keep coming out, and we'll see. And they're going to search the vehicle. Clearly, that front left tire is flat. There's damage on the front side, driver's side bumper, as we saw earlier.
Okay.
Well, another
There's
person.
somebody.
Another person.
This is like a clown car.
Wow.
Well,
Jesus
obviously, it's a
Christ.
group
Here
of people
comes
in the
number
car.
4, another female.
female.
So it's 2 couples out for a ride. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean they seem especially young.
Yeah,
the
they
guys
do.
don't seem like big fans of belts.
No.
And we're now making our way. Wow. I wonder what the backstory is here.
Yeah. I just hope there isn't a child or something in the back too, because you never know.
Slippers? What is that?
Yeah, something's going on there. Regardless, this is suspect number 4. 2 females, 2 males, a male driver. Initially, we had heard it was just the driver.
Yeah.
We were wrong.
That was bad info.
There's 4 individuals here. Guns still drawn.
Yeah, that's why I'm wondering.
Maybe
is
they
there
feel that
another
there's someone else in there.
person?
Oh! Here comes
Another
my
one.
God.
Yeah. Yep. That's
What
why
kind
police.
of party was happening in this vehicle?
Here comes number 5, everybody. Wow.
I mean, can you imagine what the conversation must have been like in that vehicle during all of that? And the decision on where to go and what to do and go to Angel Stadium and the whole thing?
Well, and it seems like the officers, like I said,
Or Anaheim Stadium, I should say.
sometimes, a lot of times, the officers who are trailing these suspects know a lot more than we do as we watch. And they probably knew. They were shining that light inside, even though the windows were tinted. They knew that there were multiple people in there before we did, obviously. So this fifth suspect being taken into custody, there's still room for more, right?
Yeah,
in the back?
I guess.
I mean, the people already in custody could have given them information as to how many people are in that vehicle.
And that's one of the, okay, those are the two officers there. The individuals who have been cuffed are going to be in the units further back behind what we're seeing here on the lower right side of your screen. Now they're going to approach the vehicle. So now they believe it's clear, guns drawn. They're going to search the back, the entire cab there, and make sure it's clear. And when it's clear, finally, they're going to throw up those 4 fingers, the code 4 there. And there they go. There's the 4 fingers from that female CHP officer.
Well, we don't know everybody in that vehicle was a willing participant as things continued on for a lengthy pursuit. A lot of investigation is going to happen here and questioning as to the 5 there that were involved in this. But you had, what, 3 male and 2 female
There's some of them
in
right
that
there.
truck.
They're not in the units yet that you could see. They're cuffed. You could see the female on the far right there, a male in front of the back unit there. 5 people inside that truck. Thankfully, we did not see any major incidents. We saw perhaps a couple of clips there. So hopefully nobody, no innocent individuals were hurt during this. We don't know how it started and if that did happen up in Ventura County. Bottom line, it's come to an end here on an overpass across the Los Angeles River.
Yeah, well, the 2 things we'll remember from this pursuit was driving to the Big A and through the parking lot there, and then this just parade of people
coming out.
just
Never
came
assume
out
there's one.
from every direction. When we were initially told there's just one person in the vehicle, it turns out that was wrong. All right, so it looks like we're wrapping things up on this one. Good news is nobody was hurt despite those very high speeds on this one. With that, I guess we officially welcome you to the Fox 11 News at 10 as we approach 10:30. I'm Alex Michelson.
And I'm Christine Devine. Thanks for being with us here. All right, on to our newscast. One person was killed after a crash that followed a shooting in Azusa.
That driver may have actually died from a gunshot wound. Christy Fajardo live in Azusa with new details on that story. Christy.
Alex and Christine, it was a very